Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Benefar11, and welcome to, I don't even know how to really describe this video. I guess first and foremost, no, this isn't clickbait. So I guess, yeah, let's just get right into it. First things first, I guess the short answer is, yeah, I'm leaving Origins. I won't be finishing Origins of Olympus. I won't be in Fairy Tail Origins, and I won't be in any Origins in the future. Yeah, so if you're only here for the short answer, there you go. You guys can feel free to click off and unsubscribe if that's what you so desire. But I am now going to kind of get into all the reasons, because there's a lot that goes behind this decision, and by no means was it an easy one. It's probably the most difficult decision I've ever had to make in my entire life. It's really rough, to be honest with you. Origins has been around for like 4 or 5 years on my channel. I've been in it since the very beginning. And it's a very difficult choice to make. So I guess let me just get into it from the beginning. I guess from the very beginning. This year, for the beginning of 2019 to 2020, or 2020, so end of 2019 to 2020, me and my family, we took a trip to Disney World. Bear with me, okay? I'm gonna tell a story, okay? It's just bear with me. I know Disney World has nothing to do with Origins, but well, I guess it kind of does. Okay. Anyways, let me get to my story. So I was sitting in Disney World, and right as the clock struck midnight and everybody's shouting, "Oh, 2020, Happy New Year," so yada yada yada, I had this subconscious thought in my head, and at the time I didn't really think much of it. It was 2020 is gonna be a year of change, and I was like, okay, it wasn't something I was ever thinking about. It was just something that kind of popped in my head out of nowhere, and I mean, at first it's just like, haha, yeah, 2020 year of change, whatever. Like you don't think much of it. It's just a random thought in your head. And then, as I'm in the airport, about to fly home, in SNO, the group that I was doing stuff with, everybody in that group I saw on a meeting note recap thing. Everybody had a new storyline that they were going with. My whole group that I was doing stuff with, they had a whole new storyline, and they had this whole thing figured out, and I wasn't involved in it. And I think that's really the start of what happened with Origins for me. But anyways, that was the first quote-unquote change that I experienced in 2020. And this was only a couple days in, not even a week into 2020. And then I get home from my trip, and me, Richie, and Michael, we had a feud, I guess is the best way I can describe it. I'm not really going to get into too much details on this. In this video, I'm not trying to create drama. I'm not trying to stir up the pot or whatever, but I am going to try to be transparent. I'm going to try to go back to being me. Before this year, I was a very transparent person. Anything you guys wanted to know, you guys knew it. But this year, I've held a lot of secrets. I've held a lot back. And it's really taking a toll on me because I feel like I'm being ingenuine, whatever the word is. Not being genuine with you guys. And I'm not being that transparent person that you guys kind of got to know. And I feel terrible, and that eats me up on the inside. So, yeah, I mean, this is just me telling my story. This is giving you guys a reason to why I'm leaving the series that has been around on my channel for so many years and is a big part of it, a big part of my channel. So yeah, that's the purpose of this video. It's not to create drama, but it is to be honest, it's to be open. It's to hopefully spark a discussion, spark some change, and hopefully when I'm gone, things can get better for everybody. But like I was saying, the second change of 2020 that I experienced was I got back, and me and the Dream Team, there was a feud. Like I said, I'm not really going to get too much into detail about this, as it doesn't really have to do with Origins, but I'm putting it in here because it also partly signifies the beginning for me of this whole thing. So we got in a feud, and we broke up, and I mean, we haven't really been friends since. And yeah, I hope that answers the questions I always get of why I don't do stuff with them anymore. That's the reason why. We're just not really on those terms anymore, I guess. So yeah, that happened like first week of January, like first day I got back, that happened. So yeah, I mean that's what happened there. And I think this is really where the divide in Origins really started for me. There's always been a divide in Origins. There's always been 2 or 3 distinct sides, and there's been many attempts to try to patch this, and it never really works. So, I mean, you guys are smart. You guys aren't dumb. You guys have very, very clearly seen the divide, and I think it's very unfair to lie to you guys and try to say, oh no, everything's fine, everything's peachy, when it's not. So yeah. But anyways, that happened, and then we're gonna fast forward a bit. We get to Origins of Olympus season 2, and I guess the main thing that made me realize, like, hey, I think my time with Origins is done, is there was that little meme thing going around on Twitter. It was like, oh, what can Origin, or what was it? What could you say that would get your Origins card revoked or something like that? And there was a lot of people, and they're sitting there, and they're like, yeah, I don't like that Austin doesn't collab with other people. Yeah, you could take out the Polynesians, and it wouldn't matter. Yeah, they're not even important to the story. Yeah, like stuff like that. And I'm sitting here, and it's really making me realize, like, dang, not only am I not being involved, I'm not being involved, and it's not my choice. The lack of collabs, was because I guess I wasn't really wanted for the collabs. I wasn't really asked. Whenever I asked, it wasn't really taken. Now obviously this video is not aimed at everybody in Origins, because there's a lot of great people in Origins too. But I definitely do think a majority of Origins needs to kind of reflect and figure out what to do going forward. Because I feel like this problem is only going to get worse and worse. I mean, there's been multiple members that have felt this way. Gino has made a video about this. Austin talked about it a little bit. Breeze left Origins. So, I mean, all of these people have already left Origins, and there's others that feel the way I do too. And I fear that it's only going to get worse if this goes unchecked. And I guess that's part of the reason I'm speaking up. And I know there's already going to be critics that say, oh, why are you speaking up in this way? I mean, this is the only way I'll get listened to. This is the only way that I have a voice, I guess. Otherwise, it doesn't matter what I say. So, yeah, the lack of collabs in Origins of Olympus was definitely not my choice. I guess the only choice that I did have, quote unquote, was I did not go to the trial things. And I've explained my stance on these trial things very, very often, very clearly. I think it's very poor content. A lot of the trials, obviously not the story-based trials, such as the Aphrodite's Ball. I think they did like a wedding party thing. That's pretty cool. The beach party thing they did was cool. And there was something else that they did. I think they did another ball. All that stuff, that was all cool. And I mean, like, story-wise, that stuff's cool to go. It just didn't work for my story because of the spot I was put in. But that stuff's cool, and I think in the future they should definitely steer towards stuff like that, and not, oh, King of the Hill, oh, boat race, oh, parkour, oh, PvP fight. If you want to do stuff like that, make it a separate video. But anyways, I'm ranting. That obviously was my choice not to go to that. But every other collab opportunity wasn't really my choice. Like, there was a lot of people that said that, oh, you guys don't collab with anybody. And like I said, the whole thing on Twitter and Discords, like, that was a big thing. It was like, oh, the Polynesians, they're not even involved in the quote-unquote main story. And it really gets there, and you sit there and you're like, dang, like, I'm not. And it's not really your fault. Like, I can't sit here and change it, you know. It's just people that... These people have been bullying me. They've been trying to silence me. There's a strong hatred around me, believe it or not. And I mean, I'm not going to try to go into any detail. I'm not going to try to say any names or anything. But it's behind the scenes. Though sometimes there's mentions of it in a video, but they're disguised. So behind the scenes, and especially it's behind my back. A lot of this stuff has happened behind my back, and I've either seen it, I've heard it, I've heard about it. So I mean, it's definitely there. I've heard it before. Literally, I've heard it with my own 2 ears. So I mean, it sucks to sit here. Like, you're sitting in a group of content creators, and a majority of them don't like you. And you're sitting here and you don't really know why. You don't really understand why. Like, you don't understand what happened. And any attempts to talk about it failed. It's tough. It's really tough. And it's a tough position mentally. Because, like, mentally, I know I can make a story by myself or with select people. I did it for Origin Z. And it was probably my best story I've ever made. And I know I can do this by myself. But it's like, why? Why should I? Why would I? When I'm making Origins content, yeah, I'm building up my own brand. But I'm also building up an Origins brand. Origins is a brand at this point. And every single creator that's in it represents Origins. And... whenever I'm uploading a video that's titled Origins Anything, it's building up the whole brand. So it's like, I'm sitting here and I really start thinking about it. I'm like, why am I creating these solo stories that I've been forced into? Why am I creating them? And why am I building up a brand full of people that don't like me? Obviously, once again, I'm going to clarify because I feel it needs to be said, but there's a group of people in Origins that I have zero problems with, zero issues with. And I'm also going to be telling you guys right now, like, I'm totally open to getting any messages from anybody, any Origins members. I'm reading all the comments. So if you guys, the viewers, have any questions, you can message me here on the comments. You can tweet at me on Twitter. You can join my Discord. Links in the description. Make sure you read the rules so you can actually, like, see all the chats. But I'll talk to you guys on Discord. I'm very open to answering anything. Like I said, I want to get back to my transparent self. So I'll answer anything. And of course, any Origins members that are watching this, if you guys are, I am totally open to DMs. I'm in both Origins Discords still, and I will be as long as I don't get kicked out. I don't plan on leaving them. So I'll be open for communication there. If you guys have any questions or concerns, you guys can talk to me like that. But yeah, I mean, there's been a lot behind the scenes that you guys just don't see, and I don't want you guys to see, you know, like, that's a terrible thing to put out there. And I mean, it sucks that it's been happening, and it's also not just happening to me. It happens to a lot of people. And in Origins, there's some people that have a superiority complex. I know it's joked around a bunch about, and I know it's not really been taken serious when other people have said it, but it's serious. It's there. There's a superiority complex. There's a lot of ego problems. There's a lot of miscommunication. There's a lot of no communication. I mean, literally a recent example was in Fairy Tail Origins, episode 1 came out, and they weren't even sure on the time skip between 6 months and a year. You know, like little stuff like that is not even being communicated. And I mean, I was like, we have a group of admins that make a lot of the big origin decisions, you know. And I was part of that. So I was a part of the big miscommunication problems. And I really tried to sort that out with Origin Z. Origin Z, I took a bunch of that responsibility on to make the Origin Z series happen. And I think it's only gotten worse. And to be honest with you, I stopped trying midway through Origins of Olympus. There was something that happened that kind of involved the whole group. And it was pretty clear at that point where a lot of people stood on me as far as their opinions on me. And to be honest with you, that's when I stopped trying. That's where I felt I lost a lot of my love for the group, a lot of my passion for the group. Because for the last 4 or 5 years, however long Origins has been going on, I've been putting my heart, my energy, everything I have into this group, into the videos that I was making for you guys. And to have that happen and everybody kind of, like, you see a majority of the people think that you're wrong for something that was right, that ended up being a majority felt was right. But for a lot of people to say that you're wrong and attack you behind the scenes and say terrible, disgusting things about you, it hurt. It hurt to see. And it really killed anything I had to do with this series, with Origins in general. It killed everything for me. And to sit there and know that you're not liked by majority of the group, it sucked, you know? And it also sucked to know that no matter what you said, no matter what you did, no matter what you tried to do, nothing was going to get fixed. There was no fixing it. Because they felt that they were in the right. They didn't see what they were doing, I guess. So I guess, yeah, bullying, silencing, hatred behind my back, behind the scenes. And I mean, like, I hear everything. There's people that tell me things. I've seen it happen with my own eyes. I've heard it with my own eyes. Yeah, I heard it with my own eyes. I heard it with my own ears. And I've been told about stuff that's happened and about things people have said about me. So, I mean, all this stuff, it's rough, you know. Because you have the evidence at this point. Like, it's not just like a rumor. You have the evidence. Which, it only makes things worse. But truth be told with you, I was going to do Fairy Tail Origins. I was going to try to push through. I think Fairy Tail Origins was going to be my last Origins, though. Unless I saw some kind of big change that kind of spoke to me and, like, said, hey, like, you're still wanted here. Make content with us here. But truth be told, that didn't happen. Fairy Tail Origins was rough before it started for me. I don't even know where to really begin, you know. I guess I'll start with, at the beginning of the season, I had basic plans for my character, but I did want to get involved with everybody. I wanted collabs. I wanted to put aside whatever personal feelings I had with people and try to keep it strictly business and do collabs, try to work with people that as long as I was comfortable. So I put a bunch of messages in the chat trying to set stuff up, and truth be told, they almost all got ignored. Everything that I tried to set up was ignored. My opinions were basically ignored or invalidated. And I mean, yeah, that's where that happened. But either way, I was still set on trying to do it. I decided I was going to be returning as Silver. And I was going to play the Grandmaster role that I set up. I think it was very clear that I set it up from Season 1. I think it was very clear that becoming the Headmaster, Grandmaster thing was the plan for Season 2. Or Season 5, whatever you want to say. And I was basically told, yeah, we don't want that. You're not allowed to be the Grandmaster. And I'm sitting here, and that stung. That stung really bad. Because at this point, I was told, yeah, you can't play the role that you wanted to play. That'd be me, like, walking up to one of the guild leaders and saying, yeah, you can't play a guild leader. Why? Because I said so, you know? And it's not exactly something where I could just be like, yeah, screw that. I'm going to do what I want. Because, I mean, it's a role that revolves around other people. And I know what your immediate thought must be, because it was my immediate thought too. It's like, why was I shown as the... It's pretty obviously I was shown as the Grandmaster in the trailer. And I don't know why I was shown like that, when I very obviously wasn't told, or wasn't allowed to be that. I was told I couldn't be that. And I mean, it's even more obvious because in the Fairy Tale, like, Orton's YouTuber Discord, they have a chat devoted to the Magic Council, and they have a role, so like, you could ping that role. And I wasn't given that role. It's very clear I wasn't supposed to be involved in that. So I don't know why I was shown in the trailer like that. It's what I wanted to play, so maybe that's all Pat had to go off of. But I guess before I get further into this, I think Pat did an amazing job with the intro. I think the intro looked really good. I really liked how it came out overall. Though I am unhappy with a couple of things. I don't know how much Pat was in charge of this things that I'm about to mention. But I guess I wasn't happy with the trailer as far as my shots go. First off, I wasn't happy that I was shown as the headmaster when I wasn't allowed to play the headmaster. Now, Pat might not have known about this, but Richie helped him make the intro, I guess. He was an advisor or whatever, however that worked. I don't really know. But Richie was there, and, I mean, Richie, not to throw you under the bus, but he was one of the people that told me, like, I guess it was a group decision that I wasn't going to be playing the headmaster. So Richie knew that. So why didn't he say something to Pat when he filmed that shot, you know? Because all it does is really just mislead the audience. Like, hey, you're going to be the headmaster, except you're not. And you're not going to be allowed to do that at all. You know? It kind of sucked. It's just kind of a personal thing. I wasn't really happy with the shot that showed my quote-unquote magic. Like, I felt like I had so many other, like, spells, and to then decide to show something that I never used kind of sucked. But, I mean, at the same time, I can't really complain about the intro too much, because at this point I was almost 100% decided that I was leaving. So I didn't get as involved as I probably should have in the intro. But like I said, just for clarification, I think Pat did a really good job on the intro. I think he made a really cool looking intro. I just wasn't personally happy with my shots. But I mean, that has nothing to do with why I'm leaving. If I was staying, I would have talked to Pat, and we would have been able to easily change out those shots, or I could have done it myself. So I mean, yeah, that has nothing to do with why I'm leaving, and I really don't have any problems with Pat at all. But I guess something else about the intro that I guess bugged me is, like, in the first part, it's what the YouTubers call it, in this world, the Xylo's talking part. I don't know who was in charge of filming this or editing this together. But it kind of sucked that they used a clip from my finale and they didn't ask me. Like, they just took it from my finale and said, yep, it's here. We're putting it in the intro. And nobody asked me anything about it. And I mean, like, end of the day, it's like a 4-second clip, even if that. So I mean, it's not a big deal. I would have said yeah. It's just more so the fact, like, hey, we're not even gonna ask you. We're just gonna throw your clip in there. I hope that's fine. Like, you know what I mean? I don't know. It kind of bugged me. I guess what it all boils down to in Origins, their biggest problem and the reason this big divide is there is miscommunication, no communication, lack of communication, communication problems, not being able to communicate. However you want to describe that, that's the problem. People can't communicate. And, I mean, people have already acknowledged this. but there's never an attempt to fix it. It never seems like there's an attempt to fix it. There's never, I don't know. It's just a bunch of stuff like that always happens, and it keeps happening. And it leads to so many errors. It leads to so many things when it's easily double checked, you know? Like, hey, before I put this clip in of Austin's video, literally ripped from it, let me just ask him if that's cool real quick, you know? I don't know. That kind of bugged me. And like I said, it's not so much the fact that they used the clip, like that's whatever. It's just the fact that they didn't even ask, you know? Like, just to double check, hey, is that okay? Because, I mean, obviously, I'm fine with it, but it's just more so the lack of communication on that front. And it's kind of an example, I guess. And I guess another thing that bothered me, I don't know who was in charge of this. I'm unaware if it was Pat or not. Because if it was Pat, I mean, it's kind of easily misunderstood because he wasn't in season 1. But in the intro, they basically are, like, recapping season 1. And they put all these people in an area that looks like where I fought the Grandmaster, and they make it seem as if there was a big help, like in the fight against the Grandmaster, like a bunch of characters fought the Grandmaster, when in reality it was just me fighting the Grandmaster. Obviously, all the stories kind of linked up to the Grandmaster, and they all kind of like led into it, but the actual person fighting the Grandmaster was me and only me. So why do you have bodies of all these people next to each other? That makes it seem like they helped. You know, it felt to me like they were minimizing my character. They were minimizing my role. And, I mean, it sucked, you know? Like, you built this character up, and now he's being minimized, you know? I don't know. I don't know if that makes sense to you guys or not, but, I mean, I'll answer any questions. I'll clarify anything if you guys have any questions about anything. But, yeah. That happened. So, I mean, that as far as the trailer goes, that's my quote-unquote issues with it. But overall, I think Pat did an amazing job with it. I think he did a really good job on the intro, and it seemed like you guys really liked it. I liked it overall, and I think Pat's really good at making intros. I think that's very obvious at this point that he is very good at it, and I don't know. I think he did good, but obviously I have those few gripes with it. And at the end of the day, really what it boils down to is lack of communication. So, yeah. So anyways, moving on from that, I'm like looking at a little outline. I've like wrote down a whole thing. I delete the whole thing. I read a whole script. I delete the script. So now I have like notes. So basically, okay. So we're kind of going to backpedal here. Basically, after I was told that I wasn't able to play the Grandmaster, Headmaster, whatever you want to call it, I was like, okay, let me try to join a guild. I'll try to join a guild, and I'll get like a real guild life, since in season 1 I didn't get that. You know, all the wandering coins kind of left mid-season, and I didn't get any guild action. I didn't get any guild anything. You know, I didn't get to do anything with my guilds. With my guild. They all left. I was abandoned mid-season by every member of it. So I had to deal with what I could. But I was like, okay, let me get guild life then this season. I guess I will make do with it. It's not what I want. I want to be the headmaster, but if people don't want it, what choice do I have? You know, that's what's going on in my head. It's like, what choice do I have? I mean, clearly I have a choice. I shouldn't be limited in the role that I want to play. But I was like, okay, whatever. I will let go of that, and I will try to join a guild. And I was in a guild for about, I don't even think 24 hours. And I was kicked out of the guild for, quote, that my content didn't line up with what they had planned. And I mean, that sucked to hear. It's like, yeah, you can't join our guild because it doesn't line up. And it doesn't make a lot of sense. Anyways, I know there's probably going to be some of the newer people that were like, oh, I was able to join whatever guild I wanted. And I hate to do this kind of stuff. I hate to kind of be like, yeah, it's because of me. But it is because of me. In admin chat, before all the new people joined, not only did we give them very limited time to get everything sorted out, which sucked because we waited so long. So I pushed for them to, one, be voted in. Like, because I guess we shifted from letting the whole group vote to just admins voting. So I was like, okay, let me push for this to happen, because they only have a week until the skin deadline goes if they get in today, you know? So I pushed along the vote. And also when I pushed along the vote, I said, hey, we need to make it so that the guild leaders in Roleplay aren't the actual guild leaders like outside of the series. People should be able to join whatever guild they want. If some new member comes in and they say, hey, I want to do a storyline that focuses on protecting people, I'm going to join the Protectors. They should be allowed to join the Protectors. Or, hey, I want to do something where I'm going to be a villain, but I'm turning good. They should be able to join Divinius Magia. It shouldn't be a thing where they have to be legitimately accepted into the guild, you know? So I kind of pushed for that, and I pushed for the group to be very welcoming overall. We have a welcome document now that I believe Brandon wrote, and I pushed for a lot of this stuff for hopefully what my ultimate goal is for anybody that joins Origins to not have the same experience that Austin and Gino had. And if you want to know more about their experience, they both have videos where they talked about it. Gino more so, Austin talked about it a little bit. And I didn't want that to be anybody's experience ever again. I didn't want anybody to ever experience what I had just gone through and what I was actively going through. I was trying to make everything better for everybody else. I think in my heart I knew I was done, but I wanted to try to leave it in a better place than when I got there or when I was leaving it. I was trying to leave it in a better place. And I think so far it's been working. I think so far all the new members, at least the ones that I've spoken to, have had a pretty good experience. And I hope it continues to be that way. I hope it continues to go good for them. So yeah, I guess that's really all to say about that. And then I guess my last little note here is after I was pretty much kicked out of the guild that I wanted to join, I basically said, okay, I'll just make my own guild. And at this point, most of the YouTubers already had guilds. And none of the other two guilds that I was looking to join really made sense with my character. So I was like, okay, what I'll do is I'll just make my own guild. And I will focus on that. And I will fill it with backstage characters. I'll fill it with people that I do content with already, like Moon. Also, I guess clarification, Moon is not my girlfriend. Bree is my girlfriend. Moon is one of my friends. I hope that clarifies things. They're two different people. But yeah, I was like, I'll fill it with them. I'll fill it with people like that. And that was my plan. And then I was able to get, I heard that there was people, content creators, that were saying, oh, I'm not going to touch that guild or go anywhere near that guild because I was in it. And it's like, I'm sitting there and I'm like, I'm realizing, like, dang. So it's going to be just like Origins of Olympus again, where it's basically a solo story. You know? And that sucks. It's not what I wanted. So yeah, I mean, that's pretty much everything that happened with that. I guess also, just in general, Origins has kind of shifted. I've always been a family-friendly channel, and I've really pushed for that. Obviously, I tell stories that sometimes aren't exactly quote-unquote PG, like my Orton Z character was a drug dealer, but I did it in a way where it still was family-friendly and still a good story. I try to make my content good and accessible for anybody and everybody that's watching, because I'm aware of the audience. No matter how mature I make this, it's at the end of the day, it's in Minecraft. And at the end of the day, there are going to be younger people that watch this. And I need to be aware of that, you know? I got to be aware of that. And there's parents that are trusting me with that, you know? They're like, okay, this guy's been making good content for a while, and we've watched some of his videos. He's not cursing. He's not doing all this crazy stuff, you know? It's good. It's fine. I'll let my kid watch this. But recently, Origins has kind of shifted to be less that and more like less family friendly. And I mean, these people are some of them are putting disclaimers and stuff on their videos, but the core values of Origins has shifted from and it no longer aligns with mine. And it's to the point where I don't really feel comfortable pushing my viewers to other people because I don't know what those other people are going to see. And I mean, obviously, every viewer is going to be different. Every viewer is like, some viewers might be fine with it and whatever, others won't be. And so it's hard for me to feel like a trustworthy person and then push them to that. And like, you know, they don't know what they're getting into. I don't know what they're getting into. I don't have time to watch all the Origins members' content. So I mean, the Origins group's values, quote unquote, has shifted from my core values, and they no longer align. So it's hard for me to still want to build that brand when the brand no longer aligns with me, you know, if that makes sense. Is there anything else like that's big that I should talk about? I guess there's I know some of this stuff has already kind of leaked out to the public, and some of the fans already know a lot of stuff about this, and a lot of it's untrue. Like, a lot of these rumors that are being spread about me are so false, and it's like crazy. I guess I'll do an example. It's the most recent one I know of, and it's pretty big to my understanding. I was recently being blamed for the fact that, quote-unquote, backstage members of Origins weren't being credited. And I was the sole responsibility for that fact. I was the sole reason that was happening. And there's a bunch of other stuff, but that's more personal, so I'm not going to get into that one. But I'll stick on this Origins one. Apparently, I was the sole reason that Origins didn't credit their backstage crew. That was on me, I guess. For whatever reason, that was my fault. If you guys haven't caught on, I was basically the Origins scapegoat to some of the members. I was the reason everything was wrong. I was the reason for everything that went wrong, apparently. So I was basically credited with that, and I say, hey, they say, hey, Austin's the reason the backstage don't get credited. And as soon as I heard about this, first thing I did obviously was like, what? Why is it my fault? There's a whole admin team. There's like 6 or 7 people. Why is it just my fault? And there's also all the Origins members too. Like, why is it just on me? But anyways, I brought it up in admin chat that same hour. Literally, the same hour that I heard about it from somebody is the same hour that I spoke up in admin chat. I said, hey, I just got blamed for this, but let's look past that. How do we want to credit these people? Like, what's your guys' thoughts on them? And I mean, I've credited my backstage crew. Everybody that's helped me in Avatar. You guys can literally go to the description and you can see exactly who helped with the series, and however way they helped, you can literally see it. So this obviously wasn't a problem with me, for me, or anything. So I brought it into the backstage crew, or into the admin chat, sorry. And I was like, yo, how do we want to credit them? And I mean, we talked about it a little bit, and I mean, at the end of the day, nobody really did anything, myself included. But at this point, like I said, I was done. I was pretty much out. At this point, all I was doing was trying to set up Origins to hopefully be better in the future while I was gone, to hopefully improve somehow. This was at the time when I was trying to make sure that the new members were welcomed properly, and then I was also trying to make sure the backstage got credited. So eventually, a day of my trailer release or whatever, they eventually made the credits, and the backstage crew is now credited to my knowledge. But yeah, that's pretty much everything. I guess short answer, too long don't read, is I'm leaving Origins because I feel I've been excluded. I feel I've been silenced. I've been bullied like crazy behind the scenes, and I have evidence of this. I've seen it. I've heard it. I've heard about it from people that were like close to it. And I've also seen it on the outside. And yeah, I was also, I didn't feel welcome no more. I felt like nobody wanted to collab with me anymore. Matter of fact, the only time, like throughout all of Fairy Tail Origins planning, there's only been one person that's reached out to me, and they've reached out to me twice. And I really appreciate that person doing that. But there's one person that's reached out to me and has really been like, yo, I want to do stuff with you. You know, there's been one person that's trying to make an effort. Everybody else has not. And I mean, I put out public messages and just got no response. So I feel unwelcomed. And to be honest with you, I just can't deal with the superiority complexes that are here anymore. I can't deal with the egos that are here anymore. I mean, just look at people's characters. Everybody's trying to make a character is like, oh, I'm more powerful than your character for this, this, this. Oh, but my character could do this to you. Like, you know, it's always an ego competition, almost. Nobody cares about making good stories. They care about being more powerful than the other person. And that doesn't make a good story. And, I mean, I'm also leaving because why am I going to do a solo series, basically, in a group project? Like, my Origins series, unfortunately, have turned into solo projects. So why do that in a group series first off, where it looks weird? I get questioned about it all the time, and then it's also made out to be my fault. You know, why am I not just... And also, it's also building up a brand that I no longer feel aligns with me. Why am I going to build up that, you know, when I could just actually do a solo series like normal, like I usually have to, and instead build up my own name, my own brand, my own whatever you want to call it, my own series, whatever you want to say. And I can really focus on that. And yeah, so I mean, that's pretty much everything that I can think of off the top of my head. Like I said, if you have any questions, be as specific or as unspecific as you want. I'm going to try to avoid dropping names. Like I said, I don't want to cause drama, and I feel like dropping names is the number one way to cause drama. But if you have any questions, anything, I will answer them in the comments on Twitter. I'll join my Discord, make sure you read the rules, and I'll answer it there. And Origin members, you guys have my Discord. You can DM me, you can message me in the Origins Discord publicly, like if you don't feel comfortable DMing me for whatever reason. But yeah, I guess end of the day, last thing I want to say too is I didn't make this video to try to cancel Origins. I didn't try to make this video to ruin anybody's career, anybody's reputations. And this is a very scary video to make because I really don't know what the response is going to be like, both from viewers and content creators and friends of mine. It's scary to leave Origins, you know? Like I built my channel on top of Origins, basically. And Origins was the foundation. And I don't know what the outcome is from this. I don't know what the outcome is in the future from this. I don't know how this is affected by my views, my channel, this is my job. This is my primary income source. And obviously I've just taken away its main fuel. So this is a very scary decision. This is a very tough decision. And business-wise, it's a very risky decision. But end of the day, none of that stuff matters if my mental health is suffering because of it. I've been so drained. And honestly, just even saying all this stuff out loud has really lifted a pressure off of me. Yeah. It's just been really draining. That's the reason Avatar hasn't been coming out, is I'm too drained mentally because of all this. And I hope that it's coming out soon. I'm working on Avatar now. I'm working on new series for myself now. Obviously I'm scared, I'm nervous. But I love you guys, you know, like I know that you guys are you guys got me. I got a great support group, finally. I have people around me finally that support me and care about me, and they're here for me. And yeah, I mean, we're gonna get through this either way. But basically what I was saying was this isn't a video meant to cancel Origins or attack anybody or cause drama or whatever way it's going to be spun though. But my intentions in my heart were very clear. And I hope this video helped kind of answer you guys' questions. Like I said, I am free to answer any questions that you guys may have. Once again, you can do that on Twitter. You can join my Discord. Make sure you read the rules so you can actually see all the chats. You can do this in the YouTube comments. However you guys want to ask questions, I'll be there to answer them as much as I can. I'll really try to stay on top of the comments for this video and answer everything. But yeah, I think that's going to be it. I think I've said everything that I've wanted to say. And I hope it was clear. It might have been kind of all over the place. I ditched the script that I had, and I kind of just talked. But it came from the heart, and it was genuine, and it was transparent. And this is the first time I've been transparent this whole year. And from now on, I want to keep being transparent like this. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I love you guys. Thank you guys so much for all the support and all the love. If after hearing all this you want to unsubscribe or leave, feel free. If that's what makes you happy and that's what you feel is best for you, go ahead and do that. To those of you guys that are going to stick around, though, I'm very excited for the future. I have a lot of stuff planning and getting planned, and I think things will go good. I think we're going to be great. And I think this decision is for the best for myself and for the channel and my mental health. And I don't know, maybe it'll even be better for Origins. Maybe they can fix these problems and make the experience better for themselves and any other new members that come along. So yeah, I think that's basically everything. Thank you so much for everything. I love you guys, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.